Cold wind passing through the garden. Think about it. Today, as the cold wind drifted through the back garden, I stood quietly watching the last leaves of the season twist gently in the air. Each leaf, once lush and green, has now become the final punctuation mark of a life cycle. A falling leaf is as light as a farewell whispered by the earth and sky, as if nature were gently reminding us that all the brilliance of life, no matter how much it once enchanted us, must one day slip from our hands. I join my palms and watch the wind thread its way through the leaves. Wind comes without announcement, leaves without promise. Everything in life is like this: meetings, joys, sorrows, all arriving and departing beyond our command. And I ask myself, why do humans suffer? We suffer because we try to hold on to things that are changing. We suffer because we mistake the impermanent for the permanent. We suffer because we try to grasp the entire sky with a single human palm. But the human hand is meant only to hold softly, not cling tightly. I learned this not from scripture, but from this very cold morning, seeing a yellow leaf try to cling to a branch but fail. It fell like the earth exhaling. As the leaf dropped, a deep, bold temple drum sound echoed inside me from a distant past. It was familiar, like the chant of an ancient sutra in the night, reminding me that this body is but a dreamlike shadow, and the worldly realm is but illusion. In the scent of damp earth rising, I suddenly realized every sorrow that once passed through my life was as light as a leaf. It was I who had mistakenly made it heavy. Walking into the garden, the cold wind brushed across the weathered face of this old life. I bent down and picked up a fallen leaf into my palm. In that moment, I no longer saw a lifeless leaf, but a lesson from heaven and earth. What comes, comes. What goes, goes. Do not cling, do not fear, do not expect, do not wait. From old memory, the image of a student appeared, one who once asked me, "Master, why is it that the more I search for peace, the less I find it?" I looked at the student, then at the wind, and replied, "Because as long as you are searching, you cannot see. Peace is not an object to be found. Peace is what has always been within you. But you ran after the winds outside the garden and forgot to look into the garden of your own mind." A person may struggle through life until their hair turns white before understanding this simple truth. Just like the thin white butterfly I saw earlier, it perched on the last faded leaf of the season. So light I thought even a breath would dissolve it into emptiness. I looked at it and wondered, why is such a fragile being unafraid of the cold wind? Why does it not panic the way humans do in the face of change? Then I understood. The butterfly lives according to its nature, not its desires. It goes where the wind leads. It lands where conditions appear. It does not ask about tomorrow. It does not demand a new season. And because it demands nothing, it lives more freely than we do. Seeing a drop of dew fall from the tip of a blade of grass, I smiled. The dewdrop falls into emptiness, yet that emptiness contains the essence of truth. Everything in this world is real in its moment and becomes illusion when we try to keep it longer than that moment. Clouds drift across the sky toward no particular direction. No one can bind clouds, just as no one can keep the fragrance of a dream. Watching the clouds, I understood life is as wide as the sky, but the human heart is often as cramped as a bamboo basket. We gather everything into it: small resentments, large longings, old disappointments, new hopes. Until one day, when a cold wind blows through, we suddenly realize our heart is too full, leaving no space for peace to sit down. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is simply returning things to their rightful place in the flow of impermanence. This morning, in the sharp, cold wind, as I sat meditating by the porch, I realized life is a ceaseless current. The harder we swim, the more exhausted we become. Only when we lie back on the water and stop resisting do we float and move gently with the stream. Another student once asked me, "Master, how can I stop being afraid of losing?" I did not answer immediately. Instead, I placed a handful of sand in their palm. When they clenched their fist, the sand slipped through their fingers. When they relaxed, the sand rested quietly in their hand. I simply smiled. Do you see? Clinging makes it fall. Letting go allows it to remain. With this understanding, suffering naturally lessens. Leaves do not schedule their falling. Clouds do not wait for someone to look at them before drifting away. Spring, summer, autumn, winter pass like the long breath of heaven and earth. Each season carries its own beauty, its own lesson, its own rhythm. Yet only a peaceful mind can perceive all that beauty. A mind not swayed by wind, not shaken by praise or blame, not tied to yesterday's regret, not pulled by tomorrow's desire. When such a mind is present, we truly live. I looked at the afternoon garden and everything was simple. The row of areca palms, the old bamboo stalks whispering in the wind, the wooden chair I placed by the porch long ago. Only when my mind grew quiet did all of this appear astonishingly beautiful. Beautiful not because it is perfect, but because I am fully present in this moment. Someone once said, "Among the dust and thorns of life, how can one find peace?" I replied, "You do not need to find it. Peace is not outside. Peace is where you stop looking." Once you allow the noise inside your heart to fall away, you will realize nothing is lost. Only what is unnecessary falls away, like leaves dropping in their proper season. And then, even cold wind blowing through the garden feels warm. The afternoon slowly dimmed. The last light of day fell across the trees like a soft farewell. I brought my palms together, smiling like one who has just received a Dharma teaching directly from nature. The cold wind passing through the garden today did more than announce a change of season. It carried me into a deeper understanding. Life is not truly suffering. It is only that we have not truly let go. And once your heart becomes as light as a falling leaf, as gentle as a white butterfly, as fleeting as a dissolving dewdrop, you will see nothing is lost. Nothing needs to be held. Only a clear heart is needed to live in the midst of impermanence without trembling. Cold wind passes through the garden, yet my heart grows warm.
Cold wind sweeps through the garden today, green leaves of life releasing at season's end. A soft breath of wind carries them away, turning the spring that once was into emptiness. Each leaf falls gently like an old sutra echoing in a temple roof. The ancient wooden drum beats through sparse wind, reminding us this body is fall, this life a fleeting link. I stand still in the yard, breathing myself from lifetimes of karma? Why do I entrust my heart to the realm of sorrow? The thin-winged white butterfly whispers silently, perching on a faded leaf at winter's end, fragile as a speck of worldly dust, yet embodying a wondrous freedom. Dew falls lightly onto life, touching withered branches as time flows on. What is called empty can stir the heart. What is called real is also never truly whole. Clouds drift into boundless space. No one can keep the sky's tilted silhouette. We gather all our wanderings only to release them again into the endless vast. A lifetime is a wandering boat, drifting between the immense harbors of human fate. Today the cold wind moves across the sky, and I smile amid the fragile sorrow of existence. Leaves fall without waiting for dawn. Clouds fly without waiting for someone to look back. Spring, summer, autumn, winter shift in hue. Only an unmoving mind is rich in peace. Those who search among conditions only carry heavier burdens upon their shoulders. Return to this very moment and realize nothing is lost. Only what fades was never needed. Cold wind shakes my robe at dusk, yet somehow my heart grows strangely warm. The old garden sings with passing wind, as if delivering a message from far off days. Human life is neither bright nor dark, neither more nor less. Nothing to keep for oneself, just keep a meditated heart. And even cold wind will become spring.